Samsung's Galaxy Note? No. S22 Ultra is the company's latest flagship smartphone. In terms of pure raw specs, this might be the best we get this year from the South Korean phone maker. The handset starts at 8GB of RAM and 128GB of storage, but my review unit boasts 12GB of RAM and 256GB of storage, as well as a Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 processor, a quad camera setup, 5000 mAh battery, and a built-in S Pen. The phone is very large, probably the biggest device outside of foldables that I'll hold all year, and this large size will be unwieldy for so many. However, for me, I've gotten used to the size, and this pretty sick Samsung case makes it super easy to hold. The phone features a 6.8 WQHD screen that offers 120Hz variable refresh rate that can drop as low as 1 Hz. The phone displays content beautifully. Images are crisp and detailed, and it offers a full array of colors. You literally don't need a better display than this on your smartphone. Like, what are you watching? Aside from its size, the phone has a rectangular shape which brings a Note aesthetic to the Galaxy S series. One of the biggest highlights is its built-in S Pen. I honestly still don't have a reason to ever pull out the S Pen, but for testing purposes, I gave it a whirl. And don't get me wrong, some features are pretty cool. Air gestures for controlling media or taking pictures worked well. AR Doodle that allows you to doodle using the phone's camera for an augmented reality effect was pretty cute. And the S Pen to text that allows your phone to translate your scribbles into text worked without fail. But none of these features are worth me actually pulling out the S Pen. I'd rather just type it or take pictures. If you're into phone styluses, you'll definitely be happy with this one. All these features work fluidly and have very low latency. I used the Note 20 back a couple years ago, and the S22 Ultra's S Pen was significantly better. The final thing that would have made this phone 100% a high-end Note would have been its microSD card slot. But like other S series handsets, Samsung decided to not add one. And while I wasn't a big fan of the S Pen, I really enjoyed gaming with a 240Hz touch sensing rate. It's absolutely fun. I enjoyed my time playing games like Wild Rift and even Tetris. And my phone rarely ever got warm. It did warm up quite a bit when I first booted up the device or when I ran benchmarks, but otherwise it was fine. I found that the 5000 mAh battery lasted me a day, but I definitely needed to plug my phone in before I went to bed. My typical day involves me watching about 30 minutes of videos while I'm on the elliptical, playing music while I'm working, a lot of voice notes because I'm too lazy to text. But in comparison with my iPhone 13 Pro, that phone lasts me a full day and a half. I also took a lot of photos with the S22 Ultra, and the camera experience is stellar even at night. The phone captures details and colors and offers a great high dynamic range with its 108 megapixel shooter. And even at night, you can make out the clouds in the dark sky or make shots of architecture and graffiti look like day. Alongside this shooter, the phone sports two 10 megapixel telephoto cameras with 3x and 10x zoom. Like last year, the 10x shooter is a beast and you can take well-detailed photos from quite a distance away. However, I know that this lens, its low light experience isn't great compared to its primary shooter. And also to note, the ultra-wide camera is also good. It worked just like the primary camera. I had no issues with it, even at night or day, whatever. Much like all of the camera sensors this year, Samsung's using the same 40 megapixel sensor in the front-facing camera as it did with the S21 Ultra. And as usual, my selfies make my skin a bit brighter than I like. The company really needs to take a cue from Google or Apple when it comes to taking pictures of people with dark skin. But quality-wise, they are sharp. I guess that doesn't really matter though if the pictures have inaccurate color processing. All around, the phone is pretty solid, and it's cool to see Samsung bring the Note line and the S20 line into one. I actually think it's a pretty good idea merging the two lines, as two flagship launches per year was starting to feel a little, I don't know, messy, I guess. It looks like the Note 20 Pro and has the same cameras as the S22 Ultra, making it a stellar fusion of them both. The first half of the year is for the S series and the second half is for the Z foldables, and that makes perfect sense to me. And I think the S22 Ultra is a great way to start. I mean, I guess they kind of started it last year with the S21 Ultra, but that wasn't really a Note, and this is. I've been pretty happy with the device for the past week and a half. However, there doesn't really seem to be anything crazy special about it. I'm a guy who falls for the gimmicks, but there's nothing here that's particularly super interesting about this handset. Samsung improved low aim performance, the refresh rate drops to 1 Hz, and the S Pen has an even lower latency, but nothing I'd like to run home about. But that could possibly be because I've been using a Z Fold 3 for the past few months, and maybe once you go foldable, you never go back, so that could be it. But either way, the S22 Ultra is, as expected, a pretty great device with a stellar camera, beautiful display, and great features. Truly, the handset's biggest size is not its heft, but it's its price. Starting at $1649 in Canada or $1199 in the US, that's a lot for 128 gigabytes of storage and 8 gigabytes of RAM. This phone comes with an S Pen this year, but at least for me, that's not worth it. And if someone was to ask me, I'd likely refer them to the Pixel 6 Pro just to save some money. However, if you're a Samsung enthusiast who wants the best cameras or wants an S Pen, the S22 Ultra is for you. I'm Dean Daily, and you can follow me at The Daily Dean on Instagram and Twitter, and you can find all my stuff and all of this video and more on MobileSyrup.